Hey guys, welcome back to the VIP Financial Education Channel. Got Ronnie B here with me. I have absolutely no idea what's going on here. What I do know is that last year, 2018, cost me $45,000 in losses in my cryptocurrency position, clearly because I have no idea what I'm doing. I got caught up in the hype, as do many people. I think it's fair to say that most of us have absolutely no idea what's going on when it comes to cryptocurrency investing. It's safe to say that people have absolutely no idea where things are headed. However, there are people, because of that, that are arguing that we shouldn't be involved in cryptocurrency investing because there is just simply too much risk. I want to start off this episode by saying you should not be playing with money you cannot afford to lose. Do not invest in cryptocurrencies, anything that will affect your future, short or long term. That's my opinion. So the $45,000 I lost didn't disrupt my lifestyle or my future in any way, but it sucked. I was frustrated, of course. I'd be, sociopathic not to be. But I will say that I am extremely excited about the possibilities within blockchain, within the future. I was thrilled when one of you, an audience member, reached out to me and said, hey, I found your channel. I'm a cryptocurrency specialist. And I am looking forward to having you come in and start sharing some of your information to my audience. He runs Idaho Bitcoin Group. And Ronnie B and I jumped on the phone together. And an hour later, I left that phone call with an entirely new perspective on the future of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. And I insisted that he come on. It wasn't our original intention, but I wanted him to share a little bit about his background. I wanted him to talk briefly about where does he envision cryptocurrencies going and what has he then created with respect to a resource that can truly help those of us that don't know what we're doing safely participate inside the cryptocurrency space and take those sort of pre-written roadmaps to success, proven successful roadmaps, and implement them for ourselves and for our own families. So without further ado, Ronnie B, thank you so much for your willingness to come out here and join me on today's episode.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you having me as well. Thank you very much.
So you live in Idaho?
That's correct. Yeah, so we're based up here in Boise, Idaho, and you kind of led me into it. We started the Idaho Bitcoin Group, which is an advocacy group teaching and helping people onboard safely, trying to help them prevent getting hacked. We started teaching at the local library level in 2012, and then at a period of time, Boise State University asked us to come and start doing the meetups and the teaching the classes at their computer science building in downtown. And we continued doing that today. We have monthly meetups, just all sorts of get-togethers with cryptocurrency individuals. And the toughest part about that is it's not scalable. It's me spending my time one-on-one with a very finite, very small group of people here in Idaho. So what we did was take that about 7-8 year curriculum and package it into, as you alluded, we packaged that into the Lochness Crypto program, which is a digital program to take that same education, take it online, and put it in everybody's hands.
That's genius. So right off the bat, let's just start the top of the video by mentioning the cost of that starter kit comes in at $500. You made mention that you'd be willing to cut a $50 discount for our audience here, so we appreciate that very much. We'll certainly throw a link in the description below in the form of an email. You can email crypto@vipfinancialeducation.com. You'll receive an auto reply by sending an email there with a link to go ahead and get started. In that email, in the body of the email, please do include your first and last name and your phone number so that we can certainly reach out, offer you some guidance. This probably isn't for everybody, and I do hope to cover that today, but I just can't help but be excited and somewhat bewildered by the activity that's been taking place over just the last couple of months. Here we are again, right? So I get beat up in 2018. I lose 45,000 while the markets are tumbling downward. I choose to sell my position off and I re-enter the market closer to the bottom. And it ended up now proving to be a fairly good decision so far because we've profited at this point $6,000 to $7,000, or that's at least the growth of our position. We haven't sold, so obviously until you sell, you're not cashing out and realizing that those gains. But I am pleased that we're on the road to recovery. And after leaving that first call, I guess what I was most excited about was where you sort of see the future for crypto or blockchain headed. Can you share a little bit of your insight? Take a couple minutes for us and just kind of help us understand where you think we are with the lifespan of cryptos at the moment.
Right. So that's a lot to package in a really short time, but let me do my best. So you make an interesting point. Most everybody gets excited or becomes aware of crypto at the peak of the bull market. We did the same thing with Amazon stock during the dot-com bubble. I remember Amazon, when I was introduced to Amazon, was about $85, which I purchased on a margin account. And it crashed all the way down to $5. So here I was like, oh, how stupid was I to buy a dot-com business? Now, of course, oh, I'd kill to have that $85 Amazon stock today. Cryptos are very similar. The problem right now is the value that we see cryptos at. Here's kind of the crazy thing. Really, really listen to me here. The value that crypto's at right now is not represented by the utility of what crypto is going to deliver. We don't have Amazon's incorporating cryptographic methods. We don't have Walmart using Bitcoin. And so we haven't used or built anything with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to do any job socially, to do any job in our economy. Now, if we get to that point, which we're probably going to see over the next decade, we're going to see little applications come in both in government and for-profit businesses. We're going to start to see these initial applications of cryptocurrencies really start to get used. And this is the scary part, because right now, with no applications, no use, we're seeing an $8,000, $9,000 Bitcoin price. What's going to happen the second we've devoted, let's say, 10% of US GDP into the cryptocurrency atmosphere? I mean, you want to talk about a price out of control. You want to talk about a real bull run? We haven't seen a bull run yet. So, and we can, in a future episode, we can go over some of these numbers and kind of model the price of a Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies if you want. But we have a really, really long ways to go in this. This is a new emerging market. It's a new emerging technology. These things take decades. These take 10, 20, 30, 40 years to even start to be recognized. So we have a long ways to go yet.
Yeah, I think that's a key point. So it almost forces reconsideration of the question, is it too late to get in? I know there are those that are making the argument, you missed your chance. I would almost reframe that to ask, is it too early still to get in?
Yeah, so I think you're actually right. We are before early with all of these cryptocurrencies. And with respect to that, Bitcoin alone is 10 years old, not the rest of the crypto. We're a baby. We haven't even started yet. And so we have a really, really long ways to go to juxtapose that. Let's look at cell phones. Cell phones are more than 50 years old. The first cell phone was used on a street in New York in 1973. And it took the better part of 4 decades. Think about that, 40 plus years before they were cool, 40 plus years before you could video chat, before your phone could talk to a satellite, give you map directions, 40 plus years to start to become cool. So cryptocurrencies, although they'll move really quick, we've got, another good 10 years before the user interfaces. So, you using it, me using it, grandma using it. We've got a good 10 years before those start to become really nice and easy to use. And that's probably where we're going to see the first utility applications, the first, real life business good solutions. So we still have a really long ways to go. So getting in early, this is good. This is great. And the fact that people look at the price and think that this is out of control, you haven't seen anything yet. But if you get in now, you're better apt to understand it, how to prevent losing your cryptos, how to make sure you don't have an exchange account that gets hacked, etc. Get in now, learn, educate yourself, and you'll be just primed, the perfect prime position for 10 years from now.
So Lochness Crypto, the product that you created, which is basically a starter kit for people that are trying to get involved in cryptocurrencies, what exactly does that kit offer somebody like me?
Right. So essentially what we did was we took our entire curriculum that we developed working, not the libraries and BSU, et cetera. We took that entire curriculum and packaged it into one tool. So you've got a full video tutorial library. It also comes with a hardware wallet. That's something you're going to need to secure and take your tokens and your cryptocurrencies offline. But the most important thing, probably the most powerful thing it comes with, is you actually get, and I don't know of any other cryptocurrency or just any business doing this, you get one-on-one live consultation with a cryptocurrency expert in our group from Idaho. You get us on the phone, you get us on a video chat. I mean, think about that for a second. You actually will be able to talk to someone who's not just an influencer, but somebody that's an expert that does this daily, on the daily, that lives by crypto, that gets paid in crypto. It's a really big deal. And so I think we're the only company that's even broached this type of effort.
So let's say that I am just hoping for the autonomous takeaways, the steps 1, 2, and 3. Do you think that the product itself has enough comprehensiveness that I'm able to get into the market and make sound decisions as I'm investing in crypto with that product? Or do I need the one-on-one to actually successfully invest?
No, you don't need the one-on-one to be successful. The one-on-one is for my grandpa when he calls and he can't figure out how to plug in the hardware wallet into his computer or to tether it to his phone, or if he doesn't even have a smartphone, maybe he doesn't have a PC. It literally is to go to the nth degree of sophistication. So it really is for the grandparents, the grandma, grandpas, a guy who's in his mid-20s that's tech savvy. He will go through and eat up that entire video library and he will be solid. Plus, if he combines it with some of the other educational information that we have in the platform, which is there's just a bunch of free educational stuff in there. He's going to be really savvy. He's going to be really good at doing crypto on all sorts of skills.
Is it more based, is the education centered around the technological aspect of making the investments? Is it centered around the trying to recognize the timing with which you're investing? How do you actually read the candlesticks? Tell me a little bit about, what are we tracking here in terms of knowledge to have the confidence to make the right decisions? I mean, had I been following this program last year, is it safe to say that I would have avoided some of the decisions that I made that led to the losses I had?
I would say 100%. The education that we provide is the fundamentals that kind of incorporate like why these psychological rides happen. We don't provide education that might say, hey, look at this. This is the flashy new cryptocurrency that's out today. What we try and do is provide the fundamentals so that you make the perfect decisions, but also we try and or create a new mindset where you're trying to position yourself for the best tax advantage, where you're trying to position yourself for the best retirement advantage. And so with that mindset comes a whole different strategy on how you do crypto. And I have to be honest, I wished more of my friends had participated in this type of fashion, because I know so many guys that literally should be multi-millionaires today, and they're only up 10% in their portfolios because they just refuse to take the sound advice and operate within the fundamentals, the basics. So yeah,
I think that's a really, really good point. And I want to touch on that here, because really it boils down to your mental strength. If you want to be a great crypto investor, I would imagine if you were buying and selling based on all of the highs and lows, you probably would go broke pretty easily. If you're capable of weathering the storm, and acting as a veteran would in this space, even though the veterans in the crypto space are still fairly green, you're probably much better off. But I would guess that the typical person doesn't necessarily have that emotional strength to stick with it the way they need to recognize the gains. And I would also then, if that's true, ask, what do you tell somebody like your grandfather? If you're really trying to help get the average person who doesn't necessarily feel completely savvy with this, whether it be from the fundamentals of the crypto investing world or from just struggling with technology, how do you help advise your grandfather in terms of what to put in? Because you're clearly somebody that advocates for crypto and for blockchain. You're heavy into investing. To my knowledge, you've put most of your skin into that game. I'm back at a $30,000 position, certainly not a small amount of money. And we have to recognize the risks. We have to know that this is, again, not advisable for the everyday person. What would you tell your grandfather from a quantity standpoint to invest into something like crypto, just to make sure that he's benefiting when it hits like you expect?
So those are really good points. First, you're right. Crypto, what we say is crypto will test your mettle, your fortitude, right? If you make it through 2 or 3 bull runs, you will have amazing resolve. Like today, I wouldn't even know the price of Bitcoin or Ether or any of them, except somebody tells me. I literally have no idea. And there's no reason to it. It's insignificant relative to what I'm doing. Now, what I do with 100% of everyone I know, and look, here's the deal for your subscribers, whether or not you want to use what we have or don't, I don't care. You should take this advice to heart and go for it. Figure it out on your own or come to us and we'll help you. But listen, anytime you get a paycheck, I don't even care if it's $1. Skip the latte that morning. Just get a little bit of cryptocurrency. Don't even worry if it's going to be an investment for yourself. Just get a little bit of cryptocurrency, because here's the deal. This technology is going to be ubiquitous on the globe, and it's going to open up business channels that never existed before. You need to get good at this technology. You need to understand it. You need to know how to use it. If you don't, that's when you hear about the hacks or exchange losses, or I lost my Bitcoin, I deleted my Bitcoin file. So the reason I say is every paycheck, and I say this to everybody, grandma, grandpa, all my friends, every paycheck, get $1 worth minimum. If you can afford a little more, get a little bit more, but get enough to use it and then transact in it. Tell your barber, which by the way, my barber has been cutting my hair since 2012. I was paying her in Bitcoin in 2012, a half a Bitcoin every month in haircuts. Think about how much money she has today.
Oh,
listen,
smokes.
Just and transact in it. Become good. You don't have to use what we have. We want to work with you. We want to help you, but do it for yourself. Grandma, grandpa, help them open an account, show them how to use a hardware wallet, and get them a little bit every month. Now, if you have some throwaway money, let's say you sell an old car or you sell some garage sale stuff and you've got an extra few $100, yeah, get a little bit. And don't worry about, I'm going to get $100 worth of Bitcoin and make $1 billion. That's not the goal. The goal is get comfortable with it, get using it, use your hardware wallets, really understand everything about it. But for heaven's sake,
functionality and not blowing, not investing money that you need for other things. This is a replacement to those unnecessary impulsive purchases that you could buy Bitcoin with instead, right? And so it's probably a smarter decision as is anyway. But if it skyrockets to $1 million per coin, you're going to be pretty glad you did it. I think that's phenomenal advice. Just a little bit here and there. Get familiar with the exchanging, get familiar with the utilization, because down the road, when this thing hits the way that most of us expect it will, even if it's not Bitcoin and it happens to be another coin, you're at least savvy enough to go in and kind of lead your circle of influence at that point. So I think it's great. So we're going to go ahead and wind down this video. Guys, go ahead and drop a like if you are interested in seeing more content from Ronnie B, along with potentially other crypto experts, because I think these are questions that need to be answered. I'd love to talk more about the tax implications of cryptocurrencies. I'd love to dive deeper into the wallet and the security measures that are taken. I know when I had 90K wrapped up in cryptocurrencies, I started panicking a little bit because I didn't know what would happen if I lost my computer, if I lost my smartphone. What happens when that wallet disappears? How do we actually get this money back out? And there was one scare where login suddenly didn't work again, double authentication failed, and I started thinking, man, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get this money again. Again, this is all ignorance due to being a newbie, and that's a learning curve I want to go through with you guys. So drop a like if you want Ronnie B to come back and answer a lot of these questions for us. Also, if you're interested in cryptos, and you're wanting to make sure you do it the right way, you want to follow a pre-written roadmap that's proven to be successful, go ahead and look into the Lochness Crypto. Go ahead and email crypto@vipfinancialeducation.com. We'll send you a link to make sure you get that $50 discount, 10% off of that for all of you guys listening here today. I want to thank you so much for your sponsorship on this, Ronnie B, and for throwing that out there for this audience. It's phenomenal. But guys, until we see you on the next video, you make it a great day today. Ronnie, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks a bunch. I appreciate you having me. Look forward to future episodes.
You bet. You guys all take care. Thanks so much.